Good morning, Vietnam. What is up, everyone? So, yeah, another fantastical, crazy day in the world of politics and all that jazz. What up, Jordan? How you doing? Why is your thing not showing up on the screen? There it is. Okay. Hello from West Virginia. All right, West Virginia. You guys got to deal with Joe Manchin. I feel bad. Uh, well, at least you got a cool name though, so that works out for you. But yeah, what's up, guys? Guys on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, link in bio. About to go over Good Morning Vietnam. Yes. Yes, Jordan. Oh, let me turn down my computer here. There we go. All right. But yeah, man, what a much more interesting day than the impeachment trial. Doge, what up? How you doing, man? Uh, much more interesting day in the impeachment trial than yesterday, in my opinion. Yesterday was just kind of goofy for the lulz. You know what I mean? But well, just because of Trump's impeachment lawyers, I mean, them guys, Jesus, man. Uh, I they're pretty bad. Uh, what up, K10 in the house? Yep, good, good. You're good. All right, I'm good. We're all good. We're all good then. But yeah, today, man, they showed some new video, and honestly, if you watch the impeachment trial today and you come away and you're like, oh yeah, no, totally wasn't Trump's fault at all, then you're just an idiot, or you're just lying to yourself. If you still support Trump after this, you're just a soulless human being. I mean, there's just no two ways around it. Watching all that stuff today and really watching like the timeline of it made me realize just how much we let Trump get away with. Like, we talked about how crazy it was and how off the rails and yada yada yada, but man, don't think we really gave it I don't think we really gave it the attention that it needed. We just got so used to him doing crazy shit. Hey all, what's good? What's good? Good, how's it going? All right, people are popping in. You guys could like the stream real quick while you're here. Appreciate that. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, join the Discord. You know, send me a postcard in the mail. I watched. Do you think this sways any Republicans? Maybe a few. Uh, what's her name? Lisa Murkowski from where's she from? Alaska? Or yeah, maybe. I think it's from Alaska. She said the evidence was damning, but she was already on, she was already on the convict side anyway. I mean, I don't know. Is Lindsey Graham, uh, is Lindsey Graham gonna come over to the Republican side? I don't think so. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm an asshole. Bye. Oh, okay. Well, shit. Shit happens. Uh, I think we might end up getting like 6 or 7 votes. I can see people saying the speech actually on the day of the insurrection was not wrong, but it was taken. I don't. I mean, I just don't know how. I mean, you can say that, yes. That don't make it true. I don't think you taking it out of context in any way. I mean, clearly, they were there for him. They did it because of him, and that's just that's just what it is, man. And he not only that, but while it was going on, the most damning stuff to me was what he was actually doing while the insurrection was going on. Like, that was some pretty damning stuff. But anyway, without further ado, I got it pretty set up. I got most of the interesting clips put together. So let's switch scenes here. Whoop. And let's check it out. Okay, so god damn, why am I getting so many alerts right now? Stop. Uh Dude, stop it. Stop. Bad. Did I have something on or something? I don't know. Okay, anyway, well, it'll go away. But so if he had acted early, they might have a case. But yeah, exactly. There's no way you can say he didn't. It's almost like he was enjoying it. In fact, I know he was enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like he was literally like uh happy that they were storming the Capitol for him. You know what I mean? Like he was letting them suffer. It almost feels like people are begging him to end this because he's the only one that can, and they just weren't doing it. You know what I mean? You guys on TikTok, my YouTube, Twitch links are in the bio. We're gonna go over some of the we'll go over some of the impeachment stuff, and then I have some other stuff lined up, some shitty PragerU videos, some other stuff, yeah, and lots of content to go through. So anyway, this is the we'll look at a few of the Jamie Raskin. This one was pretty interesting. This basically talks about this kid that was in a BuzzFeed article, a younger black kid that was on security there, and it was kind of sad.
I'll tell you a final sad story in this kaleidoscope of sadness and terror and violence. One of our Capitol officers who defended us that day was a longtime veteran of our force, a brave and honorable public servant who spent several hours battling the mob as part of one of those blue lines defending the Capitol in our democracy. For several hours straight, as the marauders punched and kicked and mauled and spit upon and hit officers with baseball bats and fire extinguishers, cursed the cops, and stormed our Capitol, he defended us, and he lived every minute of his oath of office. And afterwards, overwhelmed by emotion, he broke down in the rotunda. And he cried for 15 minutes. And he shouted out, "I got called an N-word 15 times today." And then he recorded, "I sat down with one of my buddies, another black guy, and tears just started streaming down my face. And I said, 'What the F, man? Is this America?'" That's the question before all of you in this trial. Is this America? Can our country and our democracy ever be the same if we don't hold accountable the person responsible for inciting the violent attack against our country, our Capitol, and our democracy, and all of those who serve us so faithfully and honorably? Is this America?
And I think that's important just because if you vote not to convict Trump for this, you're basically saying that any speech is just okay. If you don't outright say, go murder these people, you're good. You can basically do whatever you want. Because short of that, I mean, Trump blew about every dog whistle you could to these people, gassed them up, pushed conspiracies, pumped up people who pushed conspiracies, gave praise to anybody that supported him. He did everything you could without actually saying, hey, go run down and murder those people or go attack those people. He did everything you basically could besides that. So if you don't vote to convict him, you're saying that all of that is okay. You're saying that Biden can just go out there and just lie about anything. Of course, they would never let him get away with that. But you're just saying that anything goes, basically. No holds barred, political speech. It's just whatever you got to do to win. That's what you're saying is okay if you don't vote to convict Trump. Sadly, I still, even after today, say it's very highly unlikely that he gets convicted. Right, yeah, poor guy. Yeah, so much for Back the Blue, right? That's another thing. You hear they released some of the phone calls between the police, and these guys are like screaming like, we need backup immediately. It's like, so much for Back the Blue. It's like it was only Blue Lives Matter because they thought it was against Black Lives Matter. That was it. It was just a protest against their protest. They were pissed off because Black Lives Matter was gaining some traction because not for a good reason. It only gained traction because we watched a guy get murdered on the streets of Minneapolis in broad daylight over a fake $20 bill. You know, that's why it gained traction, and they just couldn't handle that. So they had to, push this narrative that it was against all, oh, they're making all cops evil, and we back the blue no matter what. And then they try to stop them from murdering our government officials, and it's like, fuck them guys. So yeah, back the blue my ass. Which one is this? Speech, just honestly, there's so much. I don't think we can go through it all, but Trump created a no-lose situation by repeatedly insisting the. This one. This guy had some good stuff to say, but it was pretty straightforward. Yeah, okay, this one was interesting.
5 people lost their lives on that terrible, tragic.
I never heard of this guy before, but he's pretty well spoken. I like his shtick. How he's got a good rap to him.
Day. A woman was shot dead.
Yeah, more like
50
Attack the Blue,
feet
exactly.
from where we later certified the election results. And for those who question just how bad it was, criminal complaints recently unsealed by the Department of Justice are more than revealing. You'll see one of these documents on the screen. In the charging affidavit of one of the leaders of the Proud Boys, we learned that members of this group said, I'm going to quote, they would have killed Mike Pence if given the chance. In another, we learned of a tweet in real time while they were in the building stating, we broke into the Capitol. We got inside. We did our part. We were looking for Nancy Pelosi to shoot her in the frickin' brain, but we didn't find her.
Again, yeah, just walking around taking pictures, right? That's all they were doing at court. If you watch the right. By the way, Fox News aired none of this today. All day long while this was going on and they were showing all this crazy damning evidence, Fox News was talking about Mark Cuban not playing the national anthem at basketball games. Like, that fucking matters at all. People, like, anyone really cares about that. Does anybody care about that? Not anybody that's going to basketball games. That's not their top priority. At least I don't believe. Maybe like 6 people. But that was the big headline while all this was going on. But I mean, that's pretty cut and dry. They went in there, they had a mission.
And for anyone who suggests otherwise.
Yeah, Super Bowl and Maverick clip, yeah.
These defendants themselves have told you exactly why they were here.
Right. President Trump is calling us to fight. Trump wants us all able-bodied patriots. I don't know why. I can't seem to turn off my Discord thing, and it keeps fucking every once in a while popping up. I thought I was following my president. I thought I was following what we were called to do.
You'll
like
see
to
this
a man and woman.
That
That's
in the
why they
halls
say
of
they
the
were
Capitol,
there.
on social media, in news interviews, and in charging documents, they confirm they were following the president's orders.
Well, yes, sir. I understand they didn't play it all day, but it was most of the day. I know they didn't play it all day. I was being a little hyperbolic there, okay, for effect. Give me a break. Jeez, man. Senators. Senators. No, all of us understand that. This, I remember, I was sitting up watching this. I remember this. This was like when my mouth dropped on election night when he came out and did this. I knew we were in for a total shit show. This was like the moment when I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a hell of a 2 months. We already knew it was going to be, but then he did this
goes
shit.
even further and actually declares victory. Take a look.
This is a fraud on the American public. This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win.
Yeah, now Fox is showing it, but all this stuff, all this damning evidence, this was hours ago. I mean, this 7 hours ago. They didn't show all the new footage, all that stuff. I watched the segment on Fox while all this was going on. They were talking about basketball games. I mean, sure, they checked in on it. I mean, they have to do that, but they didn't, every other channel was showing what is the biggest story online or in the country right now. They decided to talk about basketball games.
Win this election.
Frankly, we did win. He goes even further.
Yeah, so that, I don't know, when he called that he won the election on the 4th. And you know what? This might have actually worked a little bit better had that guy at Fox not called Arizona. Because I think, I don't know if it was right before this or right after this is when Fox called Arizona. They fired that guy, by the way, who correctly called Arizona for Biden. But Axios covered it in that one series that I read, was talked to you guys about on stream one day. What is it called? Off the Rails. I think it's like a 5-part series. But they detailed basically how Trump's strategy was to just claim victory, and he had a whole party set up, everything. But then the guy called Arizona, and it kind of shifted the momentum, and he freaked out. I think it was right before this. I think he rewrote his speech here. So. Oh, okay. I got you. What happens when you only half look at chat? Yeah, exactly. They gotta show the culture war stuff, because Biden is flooding the border insurrection style, and then the Mark Cuban deciding what he wants to do with his private business is apparently bad for the country. I don't know. Yeah, and Aaron makes a good point here. It's pretty wild that the president was posting tweets like this, trying to invalidate democracy, and we were like, well, that's just Trump being Trump, He only won in the eyes of the fake news media. I concede nothing, all caps. We have a long way to go. This was a rigged election. Like, that's not normal at all. That we shouldn't. We should all be able to condemn that now. But yet half the country is like, yeah, no, I see nothing wrong here. And truthfully, I don't even think the lefty side of the country took it seriously enough, because you're so used to it at that point. You're like, oh, well, that's just Trump being Trump, That's just what he does. And yeah, it's definitely not okay. Well, let me see if I can set this up. Okay. No, hold on. Second here. Shows how much I know about Discord. Okay. Double down on everything, never surrender. Yes, exactly. That's how you do it, man. Never, ever, ever admit defeat. Ever, 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 ever. I know I gotta go all the way back. But the most honestly, like, this is all great. They talked. But really the most damning stuff was the new video that showed really just how close a lot of these guys got to not making it. Mitt Romney, Chuck Schumer. Like, there's a lot of people that came very, very close. Mike Pence, to not making it. And the whole time Trump's tweeting nonsense. And this Swalwell brings up a good point here. points out that Trump spent $50 million on national Stop the Steal ads that ran until January 5th, the day before the insurrection.
To stop the steal and amplify his message. They were released nationally, played in video ads, online advertising, and targeted text messages. They used the same words and phrases that President Trump had been spreading for months, that the election was full of fraud, to stop the steal. But now they had a specific purpose. How do we know that purpose? These ads were designed to run all the way up to January 5, and then they stopped. This was purposeful and deliberate planning to target his base to rally around that day. And it wasn't just his ads. He continued to use his own platform. He told his supporters, who truly believed their victory had been stolen and who were ready to fight, when, where, and how to stop what he believed was a steal. Donald Trump would issue a deliberate call to action. And just like in his ads, that action centered around.
And that was another report that obviously led to nothing. But yeah, I mean, they really did a very good job these last couple days of laying out just how there we go. They really did a good job on breaking down just how much Trump had, Trump was involved in his people and how much he really pushed this. They've done a pretty good job of, showing all the evidence and going through everything. This lady had some good stuff to say. We'll skip ahead a little bit, though. You guys remember this? Remember this tweet? Like, how did we let this slide? This was before the election. After this, 70 million people voted for him. After almost running a bus off the road, or surrounding his opponent's bus. After his supporters surrounded a campaign opponent's bus and almost ran a car off the road and, whatever. Like, people still, not only did he not say, hey, this is bad, you shouldn't do it, but he retweeted it saying, I love Texas. Like, how did that not become a bigger deal? Like, I really hope we don't ever get to a place like this with at least our presidential candidates again. Because, man, that's, that's some scary shit there. Stop living? I was so pissed on behalf of Tech 9. Yeah, poor Tech 9 had to have his song fucking stolen by these people. Let's see, what is this? Permit data. Okay, what the fuck? Why? Okay. I think I have it under control now. Yeah, I'm dumb. I don't know how to use Discord. All right, maybe that'll do it. Who knows? If not, I don't know why I haven't had this issue before. All right. So anyway, but yeah, like I said, the most damning stuff was definitely the new video that they showed, which I think started with this lady. After this, This one, like I said, there's so much shit today. For Trump, the permit. Oh, this makes a good point. Like I said, today there was so much. I made like so many TikTok videos today going over
Women
shit.
for America First had initially planned for the rally goers to remain at the ellipse until the counting of the state electoral slates was completed, just like they had remained at Freedom Plaza after the second Million MAGA March. In fact, the permit stated in no uncertain terms that the march from the ellipse was not permitted. It was not until after President Trump and his
Am I reading Twitch chat? Yes, I'm reading Twitch chat. I go back and forth. You know, TikTok and or YouTube and Twitch chat.
team became involved in the planning that the march from the ellipse to the Capitol came about in direct contravention of the original permit. This was not a coincidence. None of this was. Donald Trump, over many months, cultivated violence, praised it, and then when he saw the violence his supporters were capable of, he channeled it to his big, wild, historic event. He organized January 6th with the same people that had just organized a rally, resulting in substantial violence, and made absolutely sure this time these violent rally-goers wouldn't just remain in place. He made sure that those violent people would literally march right here to our steps, from the ellipse to the Capitol, to stop the steal. His cavalry. This was deliberate.
And that's a very, very solid point. Like, this was, the permit was not to march down to the Capitol. Like, that was all kind of shooting from the hip. Like, the permit was only for where it was at, like where he did the speech at, the ellipse or whatever they call it. Like, that's where it was supposed to be. He was supposed to give a speech there, and that was it. Okay, and honestly, I think prior to, had people known, like, okay, well, the plan is we're gonna have the speech here, and then we're gonna march down to the Capitol, I feel like they would have been better prepared down at the Capitol. Maybe, I don't know. He was still in charge at the time, so it's hard to say. But the permit was only to be at the ellipse. They weren't supposed to march down to the Capitol. But, you know, obviously he pushed them to do that, or he got them to do that, and then that's when all hell broke loose. He gassed them up for however long they all spoke, an hour or so, and then he said, now we're going to march down to the Capitol and we're going to fight like hell. He said the word fight at least 20 times, and then that's when everything happened. So, I don't know, it's almost like it was kind of like an okey doke kind of move. Hey, DP, can you talk about truck driving culture and why there are so many Trumpies? Actually, that's not true. Most truck drivers, at least the majority of truck drivers, are like Bernie and Yang supporters. Trump actually fucked over a lot of truck drivers with this tax loophole because they took out the per diem deduction, which was a big, huge deal for truck drivers. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit later, but I think even before that, truck drivers were more lefty. I think it's kind of a myth that they're Trumpies, but definitely now, especially after the tax bill, truck drivers are more Bernie Bros and Yang Gang. Really Yang Gang. Yang kind of started his campaign with truck drivers. Like, he kind of he went on actually a bunch of like truck driving YouTubers channels and kind of built a following with truck drivers when he first started running. Okay, let's see what's this one. The truth is, President Trump spent months calling his supporters on March Day, blah blah blah. I don't think
We're those thousands.
that's not the video. The video is the damning shit. Trump lawyers argued yesterday this was a normal political speech. Come on, don't start. Oh yeah, here's this is one of the new videos here. Now we're getting into the they start talking about storming the Capitol during the speech. Yeah. Michael, there. They took our job. They took your job. Some bitch.
Yes.
Invade the Capitol building.
Let's take the Capitol.
Take the Capitol, man. I want to wear a cape, but I don't think I'm fat. Dude, rock that shit. You can pull off a cape. It's 2021. That shit's allowed. This lady killed it today. Yeah, no, she was good. This lady did good too. Donald Trump. Like this.
Police.
Oh, yeah,
The
this is a good
video
one.
is from the west
not a
front
good
of
one,
the
but-
Capitol on the Senate side.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, see on that. Okay. Bam. All right, we're
The
back.
side facing the
And
White
we're back.
House. Watch the
Rock that
red
shit.
dot,
Yeah, exactly.
which moves up the lower steps of the Capitol, indicating the approximate location of the rioters as they surge past the police.
Fucking savages, man. Jesus. You know what's you know where they got all these videos is from some lady. They were all pretty much from Parler, but one lady like gathered them all up and basically saved them all. That's how they were able to get all these videos. These are pretty much all from Parler. All from Parler, you know, the great wonderful Parler. That one. Yeah, okay. And this is where they ushered out Mike Pence.
It's the other officers waiting down the hall. The rioters seen carrying a baseball bat in the
Over here is where Mike Pence and them were. And then the blue line, I believe, is them.
This video is the same one we saw moments ago breaching the window on the first floor. While all of this was going on, Vice President Pence was still in the room near the Senate chamber. It was not until 2:26 that he was evacuated to a secure location. This next security video shows that evacuation. His movements are depicted by the orange dot in our model. The red and blue dots represents the location where the mob and Officer Goodman were, and where Officer Goodman led the mob away from the chamber just moments ago. You can see Vice President Pence and his family quickly move down the stairs. The Vice President turns around briefly as he's headed down. As Pence was being evacuated, rioters started to spread throughout the Capitol. Those inside helped other rioters break in through doors in several locations around this entire building. And the mob was looking for Vice President Pence because of his patriotism, because the Vice President had refused to do what the President demanded and overturn the election results. You
know what's crazy is all this stuff, like all these different dates that they kept pointing to, like the 6th, the 14th. Like these aren't like big events normally. These are just you know, it just standard, you know, procedure shit. It's not like some big deal like the You know, sometimes people like when during Bush against Gore in 2000, a couple Democrats kind of made a show out of it, objecting to Bush on the floor, but it's just kind of like pageantry bullshit. Like it's just basic, you know, it's just something you got to do. It's not supposed to be like this big event. And they kept turning these dates into like these magical, like, oh well, and if we do this and we do that, and a lot of that was because of Trump. And it's crazy. I really don't understand how more people didn't get fucked up during this thing. Like so many like almost and so close, and you know the video with Mitt Romney or Mike Pence right on the other side of the door. Like they got so close to so many of these people, and it's a really a miracle that more people did not have something happen to them. Yeah, they just kept moving the date. Yeah, they took all these meaningless dates that mean nothing, really, and they turn them into something, just like the March 4th thing. Even though now Trump is not in office and, you know, he's not really going to push that, although he jacked up the hotel prices for the 4th. But, you know, he definitely fed into it, and he's feeding into it now, even though he's not really on social media or anything like that, just by jacking up his hotel prices. You know, that's ridiculous that he would even do that to play into this a little bit more. But all these meaningless dates, and he's just giving these people this false hope, and then when shit doesn't happen, they lose their mind, and then he's like, well, not me, man. I didn't do it. The storm, yeah. They keep waiting for that storm. And it's bad, man, because they're getting more and more antsy, more bloodthirsty. It's like the more comments I read, the more it's like, oh, I can't wait to hang these people, or you know, shit like that. Like everything is wanting to see people hung or see a mass execution. Like those videos, was it yesterday we looked at? That guy's like, oh, I can't wait, I'm so excited. Like, dude, you're talking about mass execution on people, and you can't wait, and you're so excited. That's what you can't wait for. I mean, it's sad. It's almost like this is like a new addiction. It's like having somebody involved in QAnon is almost like having a loved one that's like, I don't know, addicted to heroin or something. Because it's like, it's an all-consuming thing. They spend all their time on it. They become a completely different person. They become just like this depressed asshole. They only hang out with the other people that do the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, it becomes like a community thing. It's like, and now there's like support groups for like it's crazy how it's morphed into this sad, tragic thing, all because President Trump needed a few votes.
Had been breached. Speaker Pelosi's staff heeded the call to shelter in place. On our model, you can see the riders in the rotunda in red and the Speaker's office again in orange. So this is a security video, so there is no sound. As you can see here, the staff moves from their offices through the halls and then enters a door on the right-hand side. That's the outer door of a conference room, which also has an inner door that they barricaded with furniture. The staff then hid under a conference room table in that inner room.
That's Pelosi's staff.
This is the last staffer going in and then barricading themselves inside of the inner office. After just 7 minutes of them barricading themselves and the last staffer entering the door on the right, a group of riders enter the hallway outside. And once inside, the riders have free reign in the Speaker of the House's offices. In this security video, pay attention to the door that we saw those staffers leading into and going into.
I don't think I saw this video earlier.
One of the riders you can see is throwing his body against the door three times until he breaks open that outer door. Luckily, when faced with the inner door, he moves on. Another.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I mean, that close, man. What was there, 6, 7 people in there? Nancy Pelosi's staff. I bet you those people would have been real friendly with them. I bet they'd just, wanted to strike up a conversation about, public option or, free market healthcare. I bet you it's exactly what they would have done. They think they're blood drinking. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, even if they don't think they're lizard people, they think they're terrible people. They think they stole their election from them. They think they took their rights. They think they're gonna, take their guns and, I don't know, make their country bad. Even like the least extreme person in this crowd is still pretty extreme. You know what I mean? Like you're not just like a free market conservative in here storming the Capitol. You're getting the worst of them. Oh, let's not compare dope to QAnon crazy BS. It's basically the same thing. I mean, it's different, but it's an addiction all the same. These people are addicted to this shit. It's different. It's it's not like a substance that you have to have, but it's an addiction's addiction. First and second line of the presidency was performing the constitutional duties. President Trump targeted on their banks. Mob broke out. I don't think.
Get down under your chairs.
Determined to keep the count going, Chairman McGovern called the House back into session. But only 4 minutes later, at 2:30 p.m., the House abruptly recessed. A new security announcement was made.
Yeah. Force everybody to have an abortion. Everybody has to have an abortion, and you have to have health care, and you have to pay for somebody's college. It's mandatory. You have to pay for your own college and then pay for somebody else's college while having an abortion. And you must wear an Antifa shirt
if necessary. So we have folks entering the rotunda and coming down this way. So we'll update you as soon as we can, but just be prepared. Stay calm.
As I heard that announcement on the floor, I saw the new House chaplain, on just her 4th day on the job, walk to the front podium. Unannounced and amidst the chaos, she started to recite a prayer for peace. Uncertain what would happen next, I sent a text message to my wife. I love you and the babies. Please hug them for me. I imagine many of you sent a similar message.
Yeah, scary shit, man. You guys on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch link in bio, we're checking out the highlights of the impeachment trial, basically. Impeachment trial, and then we got some other stuff we're going to check out. This is how close. All right, we've looked at the Ashley Babbitt footage before. Here, Ashley Babbitt's shooting. We've gone over that. Yeah, this is some new security footage they showed. There was a lot of security footage I had not seen before today.
This security video from 2:56 p.m. shows the mob in the House of Representatives wing on the 2nd floor of the Capitol. Insurrectionists who are still inside the building are fighting with the police, who are overwhelmed and trying to get them out.
I see what you did there.
Throughout this security video from 2:50.
Let's see which one. This is being evacuated. Yeah, this is some of the senators being evacuated. Is at least you get something from the heroin. I would never be an addict if I'm constantly told. Wait, yeah, but that's the thing. That's their high. Their high is doing all this research and finding all these connections, and then the final payoff, like the dragon they're chasing is, I don't know, military tribunals, Destiny 37, thanks for the follow. Very much appreciated. Welcome to the disinformation cabal. The libtard disinformation cabal. And t-shirt. I see what you did there, sir. Very fancy. Okay. Over. I don't think there's any sound here. Yeah, no sound. But yeah, running around here. What's up? I think I was booking it. These motherfuckers ain't never ran so fast in their life, probably. At least not in a long time. Well, yeah, I've seen them. There's footage of Chuck Schumer. Yeah, Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer had a pretty close call here, apparently.
Additional security footage shows how Leader Schumer and the members of his protective detail had a near miss with the mob. They came within just yards of rioters and had to turn around.
Very much appreciated.
Here in this new video, you see Leader Schumer walking up a ramp.
I'm thinking about making some merch, but I don't want to just like make like, oh, driven progressive. Like I want it to be something funny, cool, like some kind of like, yeah, like Deep State U, or fear the, something like that. I don't know if you guys have any ideas, but I want to make merch. I don't know, maybe in the next month or two, something anyway, just some kind of funny shirt or something. But yeah, here's Schumer
going
and
up
his
the ramp
crew.
with his detail. He'll soon go out of view.
That guy's got he's packing. Fucking Schooms. And nope, not that way.
Seconds later, they return and run back down the hallway, and officers immediately shut the door and use their bodies to keep them safe.
Like what would it take for the Lindsey Grahams, the Josh Hawleys to condemn Trump and say it was his fault? Would somebody have had to have died if they would have murdered Chuck Schumer and Mitt Romney? Would that have been enough? Or would the conditions still have been like, oh no, it's not Trump's fault? Like what would it take? If they would have murdered the entire Congress? I mean, well, I guess they couldn't have voted. I mean, but like what would it take for them to say, oh well, this is clearly on Trump and he had a hand in it? Like again, like we're just skimming some of it, watching some of the footage. It would take hours to watch the whole thing because obviously it was like 6 hours long. But the case they laid out and the evidence they gave, I mean, I don't see how you can say, oh, Trump had nothing to do with it. There was no way did he play a part in it. I mean, he's the president of the United States. One, he should be held to a higher standard for how he speaks to his audience. He has more, I think you could hold him more accountable than the average guy. Like Candace Owens pushed a lot of the same bullshit, but I wouldn't say she's as as complicit as Donald Trump, because he's the president of the United States. So I mean, what would it take for these people to actually say, oh no, or is it just partisan politics to the end? Just, Trump till we die because power matters more than anything. I think it takes like a special kind of crazy to like run for Senate in the first place. Like you have to be a certain kind of person. So maybe just these people are incapable of it. I don't know. Hard to say, I guess. But he said go in peace. Yeah, right? Insider and cheap. Deep state, deep state, deep state. Yes. Well, yeah, man, don't tell them, though. Don't tell them we're the deep state. You gotta wait
in this
till they
new
subscribe.
security video, you can see the mob attacking officers with a crutch, a hockey stick, a bullhorn, and a Trump flag.
Jesus. Ah, these fucking jackasses. Maybe if Hunter was involved. Yeah.
I want to show you that same attack from the officer's perspective from his body camera footage.
Jesus, man. How fucking scary would that be? Yeah, it looks like he's on the ground. You know, and again, you know what's crazy is that right there is where that Roseanne Boylan, where that lady died. She got crushed underneath all those people at some point during all that. And the guy that she was with, her best friend, in one video you can hear him yelling out like, "Stop, help, help, she's gonna die, she's gonna die." And then after everything settled and, you know, she died, he got home, he got interviewed, he blamed Antifa. Even, you know, you can clearly tell that those are all a bunch of Trump people storming the Capitol. Your friend gets crushed to death. You watch her. You're screaming out like that's a pretty fucking traumatic experience. And then even after that, you can't cope with. You can't like come to terms that it was your own people. Like you still have to blame Antifa. It just shows you how like strong the whole I don't know, latch, how deep it sunk in. If Hunter was involved. Well, the thing is these are the same people that are not blaming Trump are the same people that freaked out when Sarah Sanders was asked to leave a restaurant. Sarah Sanders had to leave a restaurant in 2018 because the owner's like, "I don't want to serve you." And that was like, "Oh God, this civility is over. What has happened to our politics? How our speaker can't even go, or the press secretary can't even go out and eat." And then Mitch McConnell, like there was like a couple month period right before the midterms. Mitch McConnell got pushed back at a restaurant. What's the other one? Oh, Maxine Waters did the, if you see a crowd, or if you see a member of the Trump campaign, draw a crowd. And then the Sarah Sanders thing, that happened in like a 2-month time span. And like, it's like the loony left has taken over, and Antifa and BLM are destroying our discourse. And Maxine Waters should be drawn up on charges. And then this happens. They're like, "Well, I don't see a connection here. Are you crazy? The connection. Trump had nothing to do with this." Like, you fucking people have got some balls, man. You have really got some balls. Let's see. This guy had a few good things to say. The attack. In fact, on January 6th, the only person not to him. I think this is a good. Points out the Trump's first response. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Not good. I mean, it's interesting, I guess I should say.
Hear anything from Donald Trump until 1:49 p.m. when, while all of this is unfolding, President Trump sent out a tweet.
That's true, they have no balls.
This was the first thing he did when he learned the United States Capitol, with all the members of Congress, his own vice president, was under violent attack. And what was that tweet? Nearly an hour after the rioters breached the Capitol perimeter, at 1:49, Donald Trump released a propaganda reel of his Save America speech that he'd given an hour before. I want to be clear.
And never, ever, ever forget that. This was the first thing he did once he knew the Capitol was breached, is he put out the stupid video of the speech that gassed them up in the first place. I mean, on top of all the other dumb shit he did, but this was the first thing he did. Oh, they're storming the Capitol? Let me put this out on Twitter, even though I'm the only one they'll listen to.
The events I just described, the rioters are breaching the Capitol, attacking law enforcement, The violence is being broadcast all over the television for the whole world to see, including the President of the United States. And I want to show you, this is what is happening right before Donald Trump sends that video out again, and as he does it.
Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore, and that's what this is all about.
And then from there, and this is apparently his reaction. Trump's reaction as events unfolded on January 6th, according to sources with him. He was delighted, walking around the White House, confused about why other people on his team weren't as excited as he was. Senior White House officials borderline enthusiastic because it meant the certification was being derailed. So, and then this is plays a voicemail Giuliani left for Tuberville during the insurrection, asking him to delay the certification of the Electoral College vote.
Personal lawyer said on the night of this attack.
Senator Tuberville, or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani, President's lawyer. I'm calling.
By the way, did you guys see where Tuberville said he couldn't comment on Marjorie Taylor Greene because he didn't know what she was doing because they had bad weather? Like, this guy is a total goofball. But anyway, that's another story for a different day. But
calling you because I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down.
This was the singular focus of Donald Trump during this bloody, violent attack on the Capitol, stopping the certification. Look, as I mentioned, I was a trial lawyer for 16 years. Sometimes you have to ask a jury to use reasonable inferences to piece together a defendant's state of mind. We don't have to do this here. While our country was violently attacked by an armed mob, President Trump not only refused to stop the attack or even address the attack at all, he made clear his focus was the same goal of the attackers he had incited: to stop the certification process and prevent the peaceful transition.
And I think that's about it. But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show, it's almost like I don't want to go quite as far as saying that he planned this whole thing, but damn, he sure seemed like he was happy to capitalize off of it. Like, oh, they delayed this whole thing, and now we get another chance to plot, plan, scheme, and that's why I'm very glad that they decided to go back immediately and certify the same night, because it seemed like he was genuinely happy from all reports that this happened, so they could, get another chance to pull some bullshit. Anyway, that's I think that here's a video of the rioters reading Trump's tweets, attacking Pence, right as he posts. Okay, yeah, this one last video, I think. But yeah, that's anyway, that's some of the highlights. I'm sure I missed a few of the good ones from the impeachment trial. I don't know, what do y'all think? I feel like evidence is pretty damning. Do you think we can sway anybody? I mean, who do we have right now? We have Collins, Romney, Murkowski, Cassidy. Who am I missing? We have 6 votes. We had 6 votes that advanced it. That means you need 11 more. Now that's a lot. I don't even know who we... Oh, Toomey. Yeah. So Collins, Murkowski, Cassidy, Romney, Toomey, and... who else? We need 17, yeah. 17 to convict. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, oh, they only need a simple majority, so he can't run again. But it's actually not how it works. Yes, they only need a simple majority, but that's a vote after the impeachment. So they would have to vote to impeach, and then after that they could have a vote so that he couldn't run again, and that would only need a simple majority. So it's kind of like stupid and backwards, but that's how it works. But yeah, I don't know if we can pick up 11 more. I can't think who the hell's that 6th senator. But I mean 11, that's a lot. But I just, man, how the fuck? I don't see how you can, after everything that they've laid out, and they're not even done yet. I'm sure they have a few things they're holding back. I guess the goal is to be over by Sunday. But how can you look at that? I mean, I guess the Republicans never surprise me. The GOP has no soul at this point, and they haven't for a long time. And they're gonna go with the bullshit excuse that it's unconstitutional in their eyes, and I think they're gonna use that as their safety net. Or he can just be banned from holding office without conviction. No, he has to be impeached. He has to be impeached in order to be banned from holding office. So we need 67 senators to impeach him, and then really that doesn't do anything because he's not in office anymore. Except he loses a few perks of being president. I don't exactly remember what they were. I looked into it last night because a couple people were asking me about it. But after that, then they can hold a vote to if they want to stop him from ever being able to run again. And then they could stop him from running for federal office. He could still actually run for like governor, but he couldn't be a congressman, a senator, or the president. But he was impeached though. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Convicted, impeached. You know, convicted. Whatevs. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Even though I think it should be a no-brainer. I don't see. I mean, you know, the Lindsey Grahams, the Josh Hawleys. Josh Hawley's definitely not gonna vote to impeach or to convict. I don't even know who could be on the fence. I'm trying to think here. Who would even be somebody they could pull over? I don't know. Hold on, let's see. GOP senators. John Thune? Maybe. Well, I doubt the leadership's going anywhere. Rick Scott, no, he's a fucking demon creature. Joni Ernst, no. Roy Blunt, eh. Marsha Blackburn, definitely not. How many fucking... Okay, here, that's the leadership. So that's leadership. So you can probably count them out. John Barrasso, Wyoming. That's pretty safe Republican. I don't know if that's gonna work. Marsha Blackburn, definitely not. Roy Blunt. Yeah, I don't really know much about him. Bill Cassidy, maybe. Shelley Moore Capito. Or Capito, however you want to say it. She's a maybe, I think. I think she's a maybe. She could possibly fall in line. John Boozman. You probably won't get anybody. Well, you probably won't get anybody from the deep red states, if I'm being honest. It's gonna be harder. Mike Braun. I don't know. I don't know much about him. Richard Burr, I think, is a solid no. Mike Crapo. Tom Cotton, definitely no. John Cornyn, no. Ted Cruz, fuck no. Double fuck no. Steve Daines, maybe Steve Daines. Deb Fisher, I don't know much about her. Lindsey Graham, of course not. Joni Ernst, no. Chuck Grassley, no. Josh Hawley, no. Bill Haggerty, maybe. Cindy Hyde-Smith, maybe. And Jim Inhofe. I feel like Jim Inhofe's a prick. I'm drawing a blank, but I feel like Inhofe is kind of a prick. It's crazy how some of these senators are very well known, and like I've never even heard of this guy. But I mean, North Dakota, I guess that's why. Ron Johnson, definitely not. John Kennedy, definitely not. James Lankford, definitely not. Mike Lee, no. No, he was the one trying to censure AOC the other day. So he's a hard no. Murkowski, yes. Jerry Moran, maybe. Rand Paul, I don't think so. Or definitely not. Definitely not Rand Paul. Rob Portman, maybe. Don't know who that guy is. Don't know who this guy is. Ben Sass. I bet you he'll vote to convict. Marco Rubio is an interesting case. Mitt Romney, yes. Tim Scott too. Tim Scott's an interesting maybe. Like I feel like it's possible he could vote to convict. How does John Kennedy look like? I don't know. He's a weird dude. Richard Shelby, you know what? He's a pretty hardcore Republican, but he did come out against what's his face? Roy Moore. Remember during the 2018 Senate race for Alabama? Like Richard Shelby came out and said, I can't in good conscience vote for this guy. So, I mean, even though he's a deep red Republican, he at least has, I guess, some values, if you know, because he's not just straight partisan, or he basically cost Roy Moore his seat in 2018 because he has a lot of pull in Alabama, and he said, hey, I can't in good conscience vote for this guy. So maybe Tom Tillis, I don't know. Dan Sullivan, who knows? I don't know nothing about him. Pat Toomey's a yeah. Tommy Tuberville, fuck no. Todd Young, I don't know who he is. I don't know. Guess I don't know as many senators as I thought I did. Like half of these people, I know like everything about them, and the other half, I don't know anything about them. Tim Scott is a conservative. Yeah, he's a conservative, but I mean, well, they're all conservatives. It's just whether they're gonna vote with the Democrats or not. Because like I said, we have 6. We need 11. I don't know if I don't know if we can get 11 out of this bunch. You know, what a fucking, doesn't he just look like a ghoul? He looks like like an MIB alien. Rick Scott looks like an MIB alien that they made a senator. Doesn't he look like his jaw just unhinges and he's like, ah! Like that's what he looks like. What a creep, man. Anyway. So yeah, I don't know what y'all think, but that's I would like to fight Chuck Grossley. Yeah, well, let's do it, man. Pay-per-view live next week. Anyway, okay, so we're going to check out Sarah Palin had a hell of an interview here with Piers Morgan. And, you know, it's good to go back to a little bit of the old school crazy. We can't just do all this new crazy all the time. We got to, you know, go back and dip into the old crazy. But while you guys are here, if you could like the damn stream, I'd really appreciate it. And follow me on Twitch and join the Discord. Also, all my links down in the description to my Twitter, TikTok, all that. If you want to support me on Twitch, you can subscribe and you get cool emojis. And I'll do a dance for you. I don't know when, but one of these days I'll do a dance for you. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free Twitch subscription, so you can sign up that way. So yeah, if you could do that, really, really appreciate it. If not, you know, just hang out and yeah, leave a like. But so yeah, anyway, so Piers Morgan interviewed Sarah Palin about different shit going on and it went a little tiny bit off the rails. So I think this is the first part. My hometown girl. Oh yeah, you're in Alaska, right? So you have what's her face? Yeah. So okay, we'll start with this one. I think it's this one first.
Claim for the criminals, but I'm asking you, Sarah.
Oh, hold on.
The president has been insisting, so many Americans have been insisting.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, betcha. Oh, you're talking about Sarah Palin. That's who you're talking about. We'll start with this one.
Claim for the criminals, but I'm asking you, Sarah Palin, whether you believe Joe Biden won the election.
Well, evidently he did because he's sworn in as our president, but no one will convince me.
There's always a but. I like this this chest she got back here. She got a sweet pad. Look at this pad, man. You know, in Alaska, I have the 3rd biggest house, and I can see Russia from my top deck.
Nor anyone else with common sense and a sense of justice. No one will convince us that there were not shenanigans going on.
What were the shenanigans? Explain to me what the...
There were shenanigans in this establishment, okay? Let's see what the shenanigans were.
Given that nobody has...
Nobody can argue the numbers.
Given that...
I mean, yeah.
Sarah,
but you cannot argue against the facts.
Given that nobody has produced any facts to prove there was widespread fraud in the election, do you have it now? Can you show us? Can you tell me what...
No, Piers,
where's the fraud?
Piers, stop. Now, don't interrupt me while I finish this point,
Where's the fraud?
okay? Listen, how many polling areas had to produce their voter rolls, and they showed that there were, say, more votes than there were voters in certain districts?
Yeah, where's the fraud, Sarah?
That would be none. That didn't happen anywhere at all. That would be easily provable. And you guys brought 60 some odd cases, and you didn't prove it in any one of them. I can't. How can you even... As someone involved in politics, this woman was almost vice president of the United States with a straight face. Well, I guess the president we have now has done way worse, but how can you say with a straight face, there was more people that voted in a certain county than there was people in that county? Like, that would be so easy to prove. Yet, it's not true in any way, shape, or form in any county ever in the history of ever. Maybe in Myanmar. I don't know. They say they have evidence of voter fraud over there. That sounds like bullshit too. So it ain't there and it ain't here.
There is proof.
Where's it been upheld?
Is that not?
Where is a single court? Where is a single?
Right there?
Where has a single court in America upheld fraud?
Okay.
In the election?
You're asking if there was fraud. I'm telling you where the shenanigans were. What about?
There wasn't fraud, guys. There were shenanigans, okay? Get your facts straight. Shenanigans and fraud are different things. There was clearly shenanigans and tomfoolery and malarkey, okay? Fraud? I don't know. Tomfoolery? Yeah, most definitely.
All the dead people who voted.
Sarah,
where was that upheld in court?
I don't know. Sarah, we like you on this program. Sarah, we like Sarah.
Sarah, the degree of the fraud was so great that it caused a different outcome.
We like having on the program because we normally have a good two-way, robust debate. Today, you've just come on and you're just talking nonsense. And I don't think you believe this.
Nonsense when I'm telling you facts about some voter fraud.
There was no fraud.
It hasn't been proven, really?
There was no fraud.
Here's just look into that one issue, just one issue, that being the dead people who voted.
Please.
And then come back and tell me that, no, they didn't vote, or, yeah, they legitimately voted.
Just the dead people. Again, it would be so easy to prove that the, she's probably referring to the thing like where, you don't have to necessarily put your date of birth. You can just put like 1900. So people like Steven Crowder and a lot of different, people like Candace Owens tried to use that as like, oh, look, somebody from 1900 voted. How's that possible? Like, well, you can just put that as, because, your birth date is kind of irrelevant in certain instances. But oh God, we're the laughing stock of the world. Other countries are having us on their morning shows to be like, oh, look at the crazy American. I don't know why I went Irish with it or whatever. I don't even know what that accent I just did was. The dead people? Okay, let's see what else she has to say. That's how like 88% of Alaskans are. Oh yeah, man. You need to get your people, bro. Shenanigans. Yeah, dude. There was not any fraud, but there was clearly shenanigans and dead people. Like I don't. Sounded like a cartoon character. Oh man. This is crazy. This is what we do on this stream. We look at crazy shit. Sometimes serious stuff. Sometimes I bitch about stimulus checks. Other times we just look at crazy shit. And Sarah Palin qualifies.
The president has been insisting, so many Americans have been insisting that our elections are run legally and transparently. And when there were shenanigans, obviously, in so many of the polling areas, the president...
I don't know why that word just makes me laugh when she's clearly shenanigans.
The president has insisted that we look into where all these votes had come from.
Yeah, but the election wasn't stolen, was it, Sarah Palin? Let's be honest. Let's be clear. The election was won.
There were shenanigans.
Sarah, the election was...
It just keeps going.
The election was won. Let me just say something.
And there always is.
Sarah, the election was won. The election was won fair and square by a thumping win by Joe Biden. Do you accept that?
I want to see that our elections and every polling place is run cleanly. Now, I was a governor.
The question was, do you accept the election victory by Joe Biden?
This is crazy. You guys invited me to come on.
No,
let me finish,
it's just that
please.
you didn't answer that part of the question.
You didn't answer my question.
Susie,
if you want to,
let me finish, okay?
Why do you answer the question?
Oh, blimey,
now, I'm talking about clean elections. And I know that shenanigans do take place in elections. As a governor, I witnessed that also. And we were always having to crack down through division of elections and the lieutenant governor's office.
Can you answer the question,
the bureaucrats who are in charge of it. Because, for instance, we had
I was a governor.
Barack Obama's right-hand man.
Oh, God.
Let's not talk about Obama. He hasn't been in, Obama's not been in office for 4 years. Sarah, you can't filibuster us. Now listen, let's go back to the question. The question was, do you accept that Joe Biden...
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go back to
Let me ask you a question, and you answer my question. Look, did Joe Biden...
Let's go back to the first question.
Did Joe Biden...
Let's go back to Let's go back to 2004. How about we do that? Let's go all the way back to then, and we'll talk about George W. Bush or something. I don't know. Market crazy.
Did Joe Biden... Let me try and answer a question.
Topic of the rioters on the Capitol.
Did Joe Biden win the election?
Can we please finish what the topic? Why did you just skip on over that?
Oh, there more. No one convinced me there wasn't shenanigans going on. Is this?
Well, evidently he did because he's sworn in as our president, but...
Not that part again. But she legit represents like 88% of a... I mean, I don't know, it's not a... I think that's all of it. Or at least all that I have. Yeah, but I thought that was a good blast from the past. Little Sarah Palin in our lives. Is that the only one I have? Go through it. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, no, hold on.
Told those who are attending the rally to go protest peacefully and patriotically and legally. So no, so these idiots who did storm the Capitol, and now they're
those little goofballs that stormed the Capitol. We don't like them guys doing those shenanigans. That don't mean the election wasn't rigged, though. You know, that we say the election's rigged, which is the entire reason them goofballs did storm the Capitol. But that doesn't mean it wasn't the rig there, guy. Don't you know?
Blaming the president for their
You guys
own
get all that?
actions.
You guys get all that?
I think that's a symptom of a societal problem where people just cannot take responsibility for their stupid and criminal acts.
They were.
Fucking fucking pot calling the kettle election fraud, maybe, lady.
President Trump who has to take responsibility, though. He's the one who told them that they should go up to the Capitol, that he would walk with them, that they had to show strength, and that they had to be strong, and they had to take back their country, and that the election was stolen.
Yeah, go break laws.
You're all good, Mumbles.
Go, act like
We're
idiots.
just happy to
go
have
vandalize our own, the people. Yeah, right. No, he didn't say anything of the sort. But yeah, people who.
I don't know. We just watched about an hour's worth of video. Did he say anything of the sort, guys? I feel like maybe Sarah's fibbing a little bit here, don't you know? There might be a little shenanigans from her herself here. Yeah, there, guys. Yeah, that's a fib.
Now are looking to blame someone. Well, isn't it convenient? Because the media has made it sound like the President Trump had instigated or certainly encouraged criminal activity, which is bull. Also, you have to remember that those who were these rioters, and again, they were horrible, and it was a horrible act. They were there already. So many of them were. They weren't like standing in the back of the rally, rooting on patriotically a president's speech. No, they knew what they were going to do. They were going to go.
They were already sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office. They were ready. They had their zip ties and they were in there. They don't even know Mr. Trump. They went there. They were like, Trump who? We're going to storm this Capitol. It's what they said there, guy. This is where it started. Like everything, she's like the OG birther conspiracy. She's like the OG anon. That's what Sarah Palin is. Maybe Sarah Palin is Q. That might be it might be coming full circle. I started this little online thing there. I started posting cryptic messages about Hillary Clinton and kind of got out of hand. And then all of a sudden they had this their insurrection and I don't know what to do now. So I stopped posting. Is she still in politics? No. She's just a talking head now. She probably gets paid a fuck ton to be just a talking head. You know, she has like, what do you call it? You know, she does what they all do. They go to like some consultant firm and do speeches and stuff like that. But I don't think she's ran. I don't think she's had any office since she was governor of Alaska. I think she pretty much got out of politics right after that. She could run again though right now. If Sarah Palin ran, she could. I mean, she ran for senator in Alaska, she would win. Guarantee it. It just, I mean, really, she was just a little too early. She was before her time. If, maybe not. But 26, like, I was gonna say if she ran against Obama 2012, she might have had a chance. But that might have been a little too early and Obama was a little too popular. But I mean, like 2015-ish, I feel from 2015 on, 2016, she probably could have gave Trump a run for her money. I mean, this is what they like now. Honestly, she's like a moderate now. Really, I mean, compared to Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've never heard her talk about Jewish space lasers. So, I mean, really, she's basically like a moderate. Like, this is what they were craving. They were craving this back in 2008. They loved Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin saved the campaign. And the only reason it didn't go full-on whack job is because that's just not John McCain. It's not in his DNA. It's not how he rolls. I mean, he's a warmonger and a lot of other bad stuff, but he's not a conspiracy-pushing, crazy person. That whole... that no ma'am segment, which is like John McCain's most famous segment, where the lady's like, I don't trust Barack Obama, he's a Muslim terrorist. And he like takes the mic from her and he's like, no ma'am, he's just a man I happen to disagree with. Like, that was all because of Sarah Palin. Like, she was pushing all that bullshit and really kind of made it mainstream. And he was actually mad at her, apparently, the entire campaign. But anyway. If she ran for office in AK, she would win. Yeah, no, I fully believe she would win. There's no doubt about it. 100%. She would probably win in a landslide. I don't doubt it at all. In today's politics, shit. She probably just doesn't want to hold office. I mean, only reason a lot of these people ever become a senator or a congressperson, governor, is just so they can make friends with people in the private sector and then get out and be a consultant and make millions of dollars a year and just give speeches and be a talking head on, you know, Fox or CNN. Like, this shit pays big money. And, you know, while being a member of the Senate, or what is it, 180? I think they get 185 grand a year. Wow, that's nothing to sneeze at. Living in DC is expensive, and you can make a lot more money elsewhere. Anyway. Oh, but remember the bus thing that we were talking about with Trump, where they tried to run in, they like ran down the bus and Trump was all happy about it. Well, this was Marco Rubio the next day. This is what he had to say. Apparently, they do that in Florida too, which they kind of do, but you're not supposed to talk about it like that.
Listen, I saw yesterday a video of these people in Texas. Did you see it? All the cars on the road with the... We love what they did, but here's the thing they don't know.
Really? You love what they did? You love that they ran down Joe Biden's bus and almost ran a car off the road? You love that. You love that. Not just like, you love it? That seems odd. That's a weird thing to love. But okay. You know, whatevs.
We do that in Florida every day.
Okay. Weird thing. Weird brag, bro. Weird brag.
I love seeing the boat parades. You've seen the boat parades?
God, these fucking people drive me nuts.
We thank all the great patriots in those boat parades on behalf of the president.
Yeah, so he apparently loves running down people's buses. Lil Marco. She got busted while in office for some shady real estate deals. Yeah, I remember she had a few skeletons in her closet. There was something with her brother-in-law, if I'm not mistaken. That was one of the things that she got in trouble for. That shit wouldn't even matter now, though. She won't run again because she doesn't want people digging. Yeah, no, she won't run again just because she probably don't want the headache. Why the hell would you want that? He's the worst. Yeah, no, Marco is a shady little fucker. He tries to act all high and mighty, but he bows down. It's anytime, you know what I mean? Like he tries to act like he's greater than, but he's not. He's a shady little fuck. Okay. Oh, this just real quick. I thought this was funny. Fucking Tom Brady was out partying and he got loaded. This is the Tom. Look at him. He's fucking hammered. He's in full bro mode. Full bro mode there. Hey, did you guys know that far left people or far right people are actually far left? Yeah, did you know that? Well, guess what? If you didn't know that, Dave Rubin's going to tell you all about it. You ready for it?
Is that real? Now, is there some far right, which really is far left because it's collectivist, is there some white nationalist problem on the right? Well, yes, it's a tiny little thing that has no institutional power. I don't think Trump is part of it. I don't think Tucker Carlson is part of it. And
yeah, Tucker Carlson's not part of it. He only had a white nationalist as his head writer for 10 years. And yeah, far left is actually far right, and up is down, and left is actually right.
Because it's collectivist, it's actually left, not right. But that's a whole separate issue. If you were really far,
ladies and gentlemen, Dave Rubin with another Dave Rubinism with his high level fucking ideas. This is the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard. The far right is actually far left because collectivism.
All right, that would mean that you're just the ultimate individualist, meaning you don't want government. So, that's like you want to live in Mad Max or something, which I think is kind of fun to talk about, but I don't think is that real. Now, is there some far right?
Anyway, Brady, and that. What else do we? Oh yeah, this was Fox News during mid impeachment trial, showing all the damning evidence. Firestorm after NBA team halts national anthem. Like, they just can't help but just push the culture war bullshit, man. I swear to God. Big Rain Reuven, yeah. My brain is in recovery mode from taking on so many high-level ideas. I've been meaning to do a segment on stream about Dave Rubin, but I don't know. He's not really relevant anymore. Like, he was like the main propagandist on the right. He played that same kind of bullshit that Tim Pool does, although he wasn't quite as egregious as Tim Pool with the, oh, I'm on the left, but I'm actually like all these people on the right because the left is stupid. Like, he does that same act, but he does it a little bit differently. But he was the head propaganda pusher there for a while. But I don't know, he's kind of fallen off because people don't really fall for his shtick anymore. You can only say for so long, like, I'm on the left, but, I actually like people on the right. Like, he's pretty much gone full I'm on the right now, basically. He's just another grifter. Dave Rubin is my favorite smart person. Well, hey, you mean your friend Dave Rubin? Because surely you're not talking about that Dave Rubin. Is this a safe haven for Trumpers? I mean, no, not really. That's not how I roll, man. I mean, you're welcome to hang out, but, I wouldn't call it a safe haven. Let's see what else we got. Hold on. They're Palin. Oh yeah, we got one other clip from Twitter. And then we have, remember the guy we talked about yesterday, the, what's his face? A call for an uprising? Well, he's apparently mad at QAnon. So we gotta check that out. I guess that's pretty much it. We'll move on. Oh, yeah, I remember what I want to talk about. This fucking shit. So, prager put out another stupid video.
There are many in the West, including
another dumb capitalist is the best in the world, and socialism is terrible, even though we don't specify what socialism is, and capitalism is just when anything good happens, and socialism is just when anything bad happens. Another one of those videos featuring Nikki Haley. Their videos really don't get any views anymore, though, man. This video only has 79,000 views. I mean, that's a lot of views, more than I get. But they have almost 3 million subs, you know what I mean? So they're kind of falling off. I'm not a cat. Oh, that was so funny. I made a video about that the other day, the I'm not a cat thing. His platform, he's platformed so many deplorable people. Yeah, no, he's had Stefan Molyneux on several times, and he's had, what's his face, Milo Yiannopoulos. But it's not even platforming. Like, it's one thing to platform bad people, but you got to push back on their ideas. Like, when you have Richard Spencer on, and you just let him talk and talk and talk, and you don't push back on any of his bullshit, then that's just platforming a Nazi. But if you actually invite him on, and you push back, and you give reasons why his ideas are stupid, that can actually be helpful. But when you're just sitting there like, yeah, and that's a good idea, actually. I like that. People on the left would never think of that. That's really dumb. Dave Rubin is one of those who try to make. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Nail on the head with that one. They try to make hate speech sound respectable. Oh, the guy from Dirty Jobs. I used to like that show too, man. Before I was into politics, you know, and then I find out that the Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs guy, is just kind of a jackass, and kind of sad. But anyway, so yeah, PragerU puts out this stupid video. They put out another dumb video too about cancel culture, which is one of the things that just really rubs me the wrong way, because I hate when all these celebrities talk about cancel culture, because 99.9% of the time it's just them bitching that they got some criticism, or you know, just it's never what they say it is. Like, cancel culture is the most overplayed bullshit that just never really actually happens. At least not in the way they say. Like, the examples they give is just ridiculous. Anyway, let's do a little PragerU here. While you guys are here, if you could like the stream, I'd really, really appreciate it. Also, follow me on Twitch, because at the end of the month, live streams are going exclusively on Twitch. And if you want to subscribe to me on Twitch, that'd be really cool, and I'll do a dance for you eventually at some point. And you get emojis. I don't know which one's more valuable to you. But yeah, and I'll be your friend for life. I probably won't do too many favors for you, though. All right, enough shilling. Anyway, PragerU.
Many in the West, including many who should know better, who find it difficult, unpopular, or just plain embarrassing to defend capitalism. I take the opposite view. We should double down on it for a very simple reason. It remains not just the best, but the only chance for the least fortunate in the world to make life better for themselves and their children. And the more we see of capitalism's rival, socialism, the more proof we have that capitalism is the way we want to go. I've seen this over and over again, from my own childhood to my time as governor of South Carolina to most recently and most dramatically during my tenure as U.S. ambassador.
Yes, you guys remember that time that South Carolina tried socialism? They did all that socialism in South Carolina, and then Nikki Haley came in with her capitalism and was like, no, we need this capitalism, and we don't want to do a socialism. You guys remember that? I don't. But, I mean, apparently it happened.
To the United Nations. I grew up in South Carolina as the daughter of Indian immigrants. My mom started a small shop selling clothes and gifts that grew into a successful business. She showed my brothers, my sister, and me what it meant to live the American dream. As my mother's story so vividly illustrates, America is a country where people can find jobs that match their talents and passions. Some Americans...
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, that's true, yeah, but I mean, depending on where you live and the situation you're in, that's not always true. And I think I speak for most people, and most people on the left. I'm not like some full-blown communist or socialist. I'm like a soak them. You know, I just feel like we need a stronger social safety net, which, you know, aspects of capitalism are fine. It's the crony capitalism that I don't like. I'm fine with, you know, going out, having a business, and, you know, being you know, an owner, all that jazz. But if we had a little bit of a stronger social safety net and spent our money in different ways as a country, I think it would benefit all of us, including the staunch capitalist Nikki Haley here. It's not about just totally getting rid of capitalism. It's about having a stronger safety net for those of us that are in a bad situation. Because really almost anybody, not everyone, but a lot of people need help at some point in their life. And, you know, it's good to be able to have that afforded to you. And we are the richest country in the world. I feel like we can, you know, maybe give people health care.
Take this for granted. The rest of the world envies it. As governor of South Carolina, I marveled at capitalism's power to improve lives. Our pro-free market policies helped bring in more than $20 billion in investment and created jobs in every county of the state. Those jobs provide dignity and purpose. And as I often say, when you give a person a job, you take care of a family. During my time as the U.S. ambassador to the UN, I was reminded that not every country enjoys the same freedom and prosperity as America.
The Venezuela thing.
More than 1.5 billion people still suffer under socialist regimes.
All right, that's just stupid. That's just not, like, there's really, saying that there's no country that's just full-on socialist. There's countries that have more of a social safety net, but saying a country is full-on socialist or communist just isn't true. And a lot of these countries that they like to say are like, oh, this socialist regime failed. It's usually due to corruption or mass sanctions. Like, it's not just like, oh, this country just failed because they did a socialism and then everything failed. And what they always like to do is they'll take the countries like, Switzerland, the Nordic countries. They'll take the Nordic countries and they'll be like, oh, those aren't actually socialists, which they're not. But then they'll turn around and be like, oh, Venezuela is like evil socialists and they fail all the time. And it's like, well, no, Venezuela is also not a socialist country. They have socialist aspects, like they, nationalize the oil is the big thing they did. But the problem is they relied too heavily on just their oil economy. And then they put in, Maduro is the guy's name? And he basically fucking went full on corruption, fired all of his family, fired the rest of the government. When you add those things up, you're going to have a shit show of a country.
In 2018, I stood on the Simon Bolivar Bridge at the border of Venezuela and Colombia. I watched thousands of Venezuelans cross in.
And there's the Venezuela thing. Like, God, they cannot help but mention Vuvuzela. They always got to mention Vuvuzela.
To Colombia for the only meal they might have that day. I held a.
So wait, is she saying that Colombia is some grand place? I've actually been to Colombia. I have some friends that live in Colombia. It's not exactly the greatest. It's an interesting country though. It's got some nice restaurants, and it's got this really cool, like, 4-story club. Anyway, that's besides the point, but I have some friends that live there. I went there for like a month one time.
The beautiful baby girl. Her mother told me all she wanted for her daughter was a future of freedom.
Oh,
they were
God.
one of millions of Venezuelan families whose lives have been destroyed by the country's socialist policies. So imagine my.
Again, something like 65% of the businesses in Venezuela are privately owned. It's not some socialist utopia. It's a country like a lot of other countries that has socialist aspects to it. There's not just this full-on socialist experiment out there. I mean, would she consider China communist? I mean, just because they say it? I mean, they're the fastest growing economy, one of the strongest economies. And would you say, well, this is a socialist nation that's working? No, because it just has aspects of it. It just depends on what aspects you want to use. Like, it's a mix and match thing. You got to, plug in the right thing. Mixed economy is the way to go, in my opinion.
I'm dismayed to find that socialism has become trendy here in America. American socialists claim.
Yes, it's trendy. Healthcare's trendy, guys. Dude, it's all the rage, bro. We want to give people healthcare so they can, not freak out if they break their arm and, sit up all night and cry because their kid has a toothache and they don't know how they're going to pay for it. Like, I have insurance. And I live in Minnesota, which is a good state for, like, health insurance and stuff. I have insurance, and I have to get a root canal next week. I don't know if you can tell, my cheek is a little swelled up here. I have to get a root canal next week, and it's going to cost me like $1,400, even with insurance. And that's not counting the cap. So it's going to be, like, ridiculously expensive. Probably like $2,400 before I'm done, which fucking really sucks. Like, I'm not rolling in the dough by any means. It's, but, that's just what it is. Even with insurance. Be really nice, that wasn't the case.
They seek a more enlightened
Yeah,
socialism,
exactly.
like those found in Scandinavian countries. But those countries are not socialist. They're capitalist and offer large welfare benefits. But ironic.
Okay, cool. Can we have it? That's what they always do. They just like brush off that. Well, they're not. See what I mean? Like, you literally, like, it's just, this is like 2016 talking points. I can't stand it. And they went with, oh, Vuvuzela is a socialist utopia that failed. And it's like, well, what about these countries? Well, they're not socialist. They're capitalists with strong social safety nets. Oh, you mean like what people in America are advocating for? Like, yeah, can we have it? I would love to have that. Can we get that safety net? I'm not anti-capitalist, only to an extent. Like, in certain, I feel like certain fields should not be privatized, like healthcare. I don't feel, because it's never ever going to be profitable for people to take on sick people. Private companies, it'll never ever be profitable to have sick people insured. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's never going to be. So there's always going to be an incentive to give them the boot. That's why I feel like it should be a government thing. So yeah. So if you want, call it whatever you want. I don't really care. Call it call it Susan if you want, but just can we have it?
Ironically, to make their system work, they've had to repeatedly slash their corporate tax rates. Denmark.
That's actually not true. What is it? Switzerland has not slashed their corporate tax rate. I've seen somebody else talk about this too. A few of them have slashed their corporate tax rate, but not like we have. So they've cut their corporate tax rate, yes, but not to where ours is. Ours is ridiculously low.
Denmark has cut its corporate rate by more than half since the 1990s. Other democracies, including Israel, India, and the UK, experimented with socialism, only to abandon it, and only then did they thrive.
You know what all three of those countries have, though? Socialized medicine. Every single one of them. Well, India does have private healthcare to an extent, but they, for the most part, have universal healthcare. It's like a complicated system, but it's definitely, they take care of more people than we do. That's for sure. So I traveled. Okay. Is this propaganda? Yes. I mean, it's prager you, so yeah. Most definitely propaganda.
The results are in. Socialism, however you want to define it, has failed.
Also, what is their timeline with that? Like, when the UK was like trying to take over everybody and had everyone in slave labor, was that when they're talking about they experimented and it went down after they weren't like, controlling a bunch of other countries? Like, what is their timeline on that? Like, see, they throw all these, that's what PragerU's really good at. They throw out all these like arbitrary like numbers and things, but they don't ever give like exact details. And they never show like charts or graphs. It's always like these stupid, like, what does this mean? Can someone tell me, oh, like they're up and down, and there's a fist and it failed. Like, what does this actually mean? Like, and then people like watch this shit and they're like, ooh, I learned something.
Failed everywhere it's been tried. A handful of elites sitting in a government office can never outthink millions.
A handful of elites, says this fucking lady.
Of business owners and consumers making millions of individual choices every moment of every day. You'd think we'd have gotten the message by now. An entire generation of American adults are too young to remember the suffering socialism caused during the last century. Instead of teaching students to reject our country's history and founding ideals, schools should have a required class on the history and collapse of the Soviet Union.
Oh, God.
Young people at least have the excuse.
Yes, because that's why the Soviet Union collapsed, because they gave people health care. That is, remember, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I don't feel like that's why the Soviet Union collapsed, because they gave people health care. I could be wrong. Fact check me.
Excuse of being miseducated. But what does one say about corporate CEOs who give in to social trends rather than standing up for a system that their own businesses and workers depend on? I'm talking.
Wait, what? What? Yes, that's the thing. Yes, get that epidemic of CEOs jumping on social trends and trying to push for socialism. That's what we have an issue with. All the CEOs trying to push for socialized healthcare and socialized profit. That's who's doing that. I watch CNBC every day. I watch them interview about 3 or 4 CEOs. That ain't what they're talking about. In fact, I remember one time one guy came on and was like, we need to be thinking about the environment more and not just shareholders. And like the whole panel lost their mind. They're like, what? What's that guy's name? TYT did a segment about it. It was a big thing when it happened. The guy, like, he pushed back on the CNBC guys and they all like lost their mind. Yeah. The last thing we have an issue with is a bunch of CEOs trying to, socialize everything. That might, out of all the problems we have in the United States, that might be the last one.
Talking about advocates of so-called stakeholder capitalism, a philosophy that retains the word capital.
That's what the guy called it, yeah. But I've literally seen one guy talk about that, and when he talked about it, it was national news. Stakeholder capitalism.
But abandons its meaning. Recently, the chief executives of some of America's largest companies changed their self-definition. They said companies should focus on customers, workers, and communities. This is just politically correct nonsense. These...
How dare they? How dare they focus on the people who they serve, the people that work for them, and the communities in which their business is in? What a bunch of malarkey. Shenanigans, I say. Shenanigans. God, this is worse than I thought it was.
CEOs know that's what successful businesses already do. It's what they have to do to survive in our capitalist system. A company that cheats its customers, mistreats its workers, and abuses its community won't be around long. Profits are what keep a business...
Wait, what? Hold on. Let's back that up.
Our capitalist system. A company that cheats its customers, mistreats its workers, and abuses its community won't be around long. Profits...
Yeah, that's not true. Amazon mistreats their workers. Amazon literally had the Pinkerton spy agency spying on their workers so they wouldn't create a union. They abuse their people all the time. They shit on the people they do business with. Like, a lot of people will have products on Amazon. They'll sell well. Amazon will, like, push them out of the algorithm and then sell that stuff themselves. Like, Amazon are terrible people. I mean, as unfortunate as it is, the cruel rise to the top in the business world. Yeah, Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. That should tell you enough right there. I mean, the guy is a psychopath. He makes a good car, and he made me some money a couple years ago. Or like, I don't know, 18 months ago. But he's a psychopath. And yeah, Jeff Bezos, he's a real swell fella, that Jeff Bezos. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, Walmart, they really treat their people well. That's McDonald's. I mean, I could keep going. Apple has nets outside of their offices in China or Japan or whatever. So if people jump out the window, they don't die, because that's a thing that happens a lot.
Are what keep a business going and allow it to thrive. They generate the funds needed.
You're right. Yeah, it's turned into like an anti-union, fuck the workers video.
For more job creation. You don't need an advanced economics degree to understand this. So why are these CEOs so anxious to embrace this in-name-only capitalism? Probably because they think they need to placate the noisemakers on the socialist left.
Oh, God.
But that's a fool's game. The left is never satisfied. So let's...
Hell yeah. Of course we're never satisfied. But, I mean, that doesn't mean anything that you say is true. I'm never satisfied. Like, I just want healthcare. I just want people to have healthcare. That's all. healthcare, maybe like a few other. I would be happy with universal healthcare, free daycare, free or universal childcare, and a free 2-year public community college. If we could get those three things, and then obviously like push towards green jobs, like a Green New Deal type thing, like those are the things that I would say I'm most worried about. I don't know exactly what order I would put those in. I think, I don't know, climate change is obviously a big deal, but those are the 4 key things that I'm worried about. And honestly, I don't think that's anything radical, but just because it's not me never being satisfied just because you want to push forth a bunch of bullshit policies that don't actually do anything. That's not me being that's not me not being satisfied. That's you being a shitty politician.
Let's defend what works, and what works is capitalism. Until the unforeseeable shutdown of the economy as a response to the coronavirus, it was working better than ever. Unemployment was at a 50-year low. Wages
Yeah, but that's such a dumb way to okay, let's see what else.
Wages were rising at the fastest rate in a decade. More women and minorities were working than ever before. Poverty was at a record low in America. Let's get back to that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but okay, but how they measure poverty is there's a big issue with that. And wages have been pretty much stagnant since the 70s. Just because they happen to be rising a little bit faster now doesn't really mean anything. I mean, worker productivity is up 200% in the last 10 years, and wages are pretty much stagnant. I think, was it 70% of workers? And this is, I'm talking pre-pandemic. 70% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. Some other numbers I can't think of off the top of my head. Yeah, but people weren't booming. The top was the top, 10%. Yeah, they were doing better because of certain tax cuts. But even Trump's tax cuts fucked over a lot of working people, especially truck drivers, which is the most. It's the #1 job for men. I don't know if it's of any age, but I think, yeah, it's pretty much the #1 job for men is being a truck driver. And Trump's tax cut took away the per diem deduction, which fucked over a lot of drivers. I know guys that went from paying basically no taxes to paying 8, 9, 10 grand after the Trump tax cut because they took away the per diem thing. So that, that fucked over a lot of people. And, a lot of people were just barely getting by just because it happened to be better for a certain segment. Doesn't mean it was good. You know what I mean? So I really hate when people are like, oh, Trump had this booming economy. Like, for who? Fucking Melvin Capital? I guess. Sure, man. Ridiculous.
There's only one way to do it. Capitalism. I'm Nikki Haley for Prager University. Thank you for watching.
Oh, God, no. No. Stop. I'm Nikki Haley for Propaganda U. Yeah, yeah, I need a shower after that. Anyway, what do y'all think of that? RDBF, what the fuck is that? What are you talking about, Sasha? Let me flip over to OMG, that was so hard to watch. Ruth. But she is assuming we'll never have a disaster again. Yeah, well, and that's another thing. This great capitalist system made us totally unprepared for something like COVID. Because the capitalist thing was to make as much profit as possible, and the best way to profit was to basically manufacture everything in China. So when we got to the pandemic situation, we had to get everything from China, and that was a fucking huge setback because we don't make anything in America because hyper-capitalism made it that way. So all of our PPE and shit made it to where we couldn't get, shit in. And then on top of that, because Trump didn't want to use the Defense Production Act to make companies make masks and stuff like that because they didn't want to shut down their production lines, that threw another wrench into it. So there's another, capitalism at its finest again. So there's so many things that really fucked us over, and because of that, people died. Just straight out. I mean, there's, many other things, but like the shitty hyper-capitalist bullshit that we deal with on a daily basis here, is one of the reasons why we weren't prepared and we weren't able to be prepared, because, got to make a quick buck. You don't even have to be a shareholder, actually, but you can listen, like, every 3 months, companies, public companies, they give earnings reports, and they talk about, like, their guidance and where they see their numbers going and how they're gonna, like, improve profit. And literally every 3 months, like, these companies have to produce basically more. Like, it has to be more every 3 months. Otherwise, their stock goes down. Like, if a company misses earnings, or they have bad guidance, or they have, there's basically like a 10-point checklist. And if they fuck up on a few of those things, the stock price goes down. Even like Facebook. Facebook is still every 3 months producing more users, more growth, more this, more that. That's just how it works. Unless it's like a brand new company who has potential in the future, like, it's always more. It doesn't matter if it's healthcare, whatever. Like, it's always more. It's got to be more. Otherwise, the stock price goes down. So these guys end up just being slaves to the stock price, and that's what gets all the attention. Like, healthcare companies spend most of their revenue on shit outside of improving the quality of their product. And that's on capitalism, baby. Old hyper capitalism. Not saying there's not there's good aspects to parts of capitalism. Like, I'm not full communist, I'm not full socialist by any means. Personally, I don't, maybe I'm just not educated enough about it. What do I know? I'm just like a fucking truck driver. But, like, I don't think like a fully communist society would ever work. Like, that's how I feel about it. But I feel like there are aspects where we could make it more socialized, and it would help our society. I feel like a mixed economy is the way to go. The problem is we're not mixed enough. Wow, so much keep consuming to keep their fig. Yeah, no, they do. Oh, and they do a lot of manipulation too. Like, I'll give you an example. Boeing took, when in 2018, when they got all the profits from the tax cut, they took all the profit from the tax cut in 2018, and they bought back their own stock to push the price up, because the people on the board of the company, they get bonuses if the stock hits a certain price. So when they got all the money from the tax cut, they spent 95% of it on stock buybacks. That pushed the price way up, and they all got paid. Well, in 2020, when the stock price fucking fell through the floor, because not only did they have a bunch of people cancel orders of planes, but, pandemic, so that made it even worse. We had to bail them out with $25 billion. So they basically just were able to just gamble away all their money and buy back their own stock, because, hey, the stock's never going down, apparently. And then when the stock went down, we had to bail them out, give them $25 billion. Like, fuck, I wish I could do that. I wish I could just get $25 billion, or just, hey, I'm gonna take a long shot over here. If it doesn't work out, help out your boy. But they can do that now. And that's one of the reasons why the stock market has just continued to go up, because it's totally just propped up at this point. But they know they can't lose. Like, it doesn't matter which party's in office. Like, they know they can just gamble. And if the stock market tanks, they'll get bailed out. Like, they know that now. There's no doubt about it in their minds. They'll just gamble it all the way. If they fuck up, they'll get bailed out, because it's too much. There's too much tied up to our economy. Like, it's too important to the guys up top. It's some horse shit. They want profits quickly that's all that matters. I need $1 billion, please. Yeah, no shit. Like, I don't know. There's about 40 or 50 of us in here, or 40, 50 something. A billion each. I mean, it's not got a nice little ring to it. All right, so that's PragerU video 1. You guys are gonna have to endure one more. By the way, while you guys are here, if you could like the stream, really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitch, okay? Because Twitch is awesome. And at the end of the month, I'm gonna be moving over there, strictly for the live streams. And yeah, join the Discord. Definitely join the Discord. I put a lot of good sources in there. We have a room where you can share your Q stories, all kinds of cool shit. And if you want to support the channel, you can donate to the stream. Links down in the description, or you can subscribe on Twitch. All right, chilling over. Let's go to the next segment. So yeah, also on top of saying socialism's bad, they also got to rail against cancel culture when no one's really canceling them. Wait for it.
Again, we have asked for an explanation.
Right, hold on. Let me get a sip. Sody pop here. All you guys on TikTok there, YouTube, Twitch link in bio. Y'all want to come over and hang. Affordable housing, yes. Yeah, there's what, 6 or 7 houses for every homeless person. So that's a fun thing. So this is Amanda Insing. I don't know if you guys are OG fans. Well, not really OG because I've only been streaming for a couple months, but we've talked about Amanda before. She's a Trumper, beauty influencer, and she got canceled in her eyes. And her idea of getting canceled is Sephora doesn't want to work with her anymore after she basically came out and was pro-insurrection or didn't condemn it or basically just kind of went with the flow. Oh, also, she thinks she's a character in the Bible because of some dumb shit. She's basically a crazy person, and so is her boyfriend. So Sephora, a big beauty company, decided they didn't want to work with her anymore. So apparently, she got canceled. And yeah, I have the hiccups now. Great.
Team, we have received nothing. I have never done anything that is violent. I'm not a violent person. I've never condoned violence. Never.
Yeah, you didn't condone violence, true. But, I mean, you kind of went with Trump on the whole stop the steal thing. So, I mean, isn't that, we just watched the capitalism video. Isn't it capitalism at its finest? A company saying, hey, we don't want to work with you. Isn't that their decision? I mean, you have 4 million social media followers. You make tons of money. You're not canceled in any way just because Sephora doesn't want to work with you. I can't imagine being such a fucking dunce that my big gripe in life is that Sephora wouldn't work with me.
Will. I'm first and foremost a Christian. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I'm secondly American, and I'm thirdly Latina. I am not racist. I am not homophobic. I am not a white supremacist. I am not part of some violent group. And it's so weird. I only started being called these things by trolls on the internet after I came out talking about my conservative views and my religious views.
You came out and said you were Esther, okay? You not only did you come out pro-Trump and your boyfriend, but you were talking crazy shit and you were sharing misinformation. It's not that she was just like, oh, I like Trump, and that's it. It's that you were sharing a bunch of bullshit misinformation, QAnon stuff, and that's when Sephora canceled their contract with you. You didn't just say, oh, I like Trump. You were sharing a bunch of bullshit disinformation on your giant platform, and then that's what got you kicked. And oh, you also said you were a character in the Bible, reincarnated, which is a little cray, if I'm being honest.
If you're a conservative, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We've been dealing with this for over a year now.
I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this before, but I talked about this like 2 months ago when this, not her getting canceled by Sephora, but when the whole thing about her saying she's Esther and saying that Trump actually, she basically pushed all the bullshit voter fraud stuff and QAnon shit. Save the children.
So based on the interaction Sephora has had and responding to comments who specifically reference my conservative views, why do you guys think that they don't want me to represent their brand? I has just sent my legal team a settlement saying they will pay me if I sign an agreement saying I will stay silent and not talk about them and not talk.
So wait, you're getting paid and you're still bitching? You're gonna get paid for your troubles if you don't bitch about it? Like, man, it seems pretty straightforward to me.
About what has happened. This is so much bigger than me getting paid.
This is the cancel culture that now pervades America. Yet, people on the left, the very people responsible for it.
Oh, this guy's a tool. Again, getting cancel culture is not you lost a contract with your big makeup company. If you like lost your career and you got shunned and people didn't want to, like, nobody liked you anymore just because you were a conservative, that would be getting canceled. You not getting to work with one makeup brand and still having a platform of 4 million followers is not getting canceled. Like, these people take the dumbest shit and try to turn it into some sob story.
Claim it doesn't exist. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez mocks those who fear its growing influence. Odds are you're not actually canceled, she tweeted. You're just being challenged, held accountable, or unliked.
True. Yes, we live in the age of the internet. It is 2021. Literally anyone can have an opinion. I, with my small little platform of 20,000 followers on TikTok and a couple thousand on each other platforms, can sit here all night and give my opinion about whatever I want. 30 years ago, I couldn't do that. I mean, I guess I could go yell in the street about it, but you know what I mean? Like, where everybody can tweet something, talk about something. Could you imagine if they could do that in like the 30s or something, or 40s? Like whenever Elvis came out and everybody be flipping out about him shaking his hips or something, you know, something dumb. Like, just because people have more access to a voice doesn't mean that we're all just like these triggered snowflakes now. Like, people are just able to give their critique and push back on people who have big platforms.
The representatives claim that this is merely accountability culture is common on the left. Don't believe it. Accountability means a duty to explain. Accountability involves confronting a person with their actions in a way that allows them to explain themselves or ask for forgiveness and otherwise continue the dialogue. The purpose of cancel...
You made me laugh. I know a guy that yells in the street that lives in my town. I know a guy like that too. Okay, I gotta go back a little bit. You made me laugh.
Means a duty to explain. Accountability involves confronting a person with their actions in a way that allows them to explain themselves or ask for forgiveness and otherwise continue the dialogue. The purpose of cancellation is very different. It seeks to bring all conversation to an end, to strike fear in the public so that no one else dares to speak up. That is cancel.
Can anybody tell me when the fuck that happened? When has anybody, like, just not spoke up? It ain't the Trump people. They're the loudest motherfuckers ever. And they usually rally around their own. Like, when the Trump people come out and they're like, oh, I've been canceled. The next month they have a $30,000 Patreon. So can please somebody cancel me? I want to get canceled. If that's getting canceled is. Cancel the shit out of me. If I can, you know, have 5,000 Patreon backers the next day because, oh, cancel culture, we can't let it stand. Like, that's what happens to these people. Like, they don't get canceled. They get rich.
Cancellation, and it extends far beyond criticism. Cancellation involves social media mobs engaged in public shaming and the creation of blacklists. It seeks the destruction of the career and reputation of anyone who differs with a leftist position. The bullies, says social critic Douglas Murray, want to stop the rest of us talking or thinking. Virtually no one is immune. Not Kevin Hart, not J.K. Rowling, not Woodrow Wilson, not Drew Brees.
What? Yeah, okay. Let's talk about these examples here. Kevin Hart, richest comedian in the world. Is he a billionaire yet? I don't know if he's a billionaire yet, but he's literally the first comedy mogul. Like, there has been, not even Jerry Seinfeld is as successful as Kevin Hart. Are they talking about him not getting to host the Oscars? Is that getting canceled? That's getting canceled? Well, then I'm canceled, I guess. I'm never going to host the Oscars. I don't think. Anyway. That's not getting canceled. Again, extremely, like, anywhere this guy would walk, he would have a crowd of adoring fans. This guy can't go to Burger King without 5 million people wanting to marry him. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not canceled in any way. He said some shit that was stupid. He got some backlash for it. A event that is for a wide audience said, hey, you know what? Since you didn't apologize, maybe not. Let's set this one out. Is that what we're worried about? 4,000 people dying a day from COVID. But yeah, Kevin Hart, my heart fucking bleeds for him. Okay. Kevin Hart is annoying. I like his older stuff. Like his, what was the one where he talks about his dad? You gonna learn today. That shit was pretty funny. But his movies are usually shit. Like, all his movies suck. For the most part. Off the top of my head that I could think of. But okay. J.K. Rowling. Canceled? I don't... Isn't she the richest woman in the world? Who is the richest woman in the world? Frances. Okay. Okay, let's hit top 10. Richest in the world. Oh, fuck you, Forbes. Can't for this shit. Who's the top 5 richest women in the world? Ash, that's a Walton, Mackenzie Bezos, Koch family. Okay, let's see the top 10. When is it? 2021. Okay, maybe not. Mackenzie Scott, Chili Koch. Whatever, she's up there. You guys get what I'm saying. She's ridiculously wealthy. I think she donated a lot of her money, maybe, or something. But anyway, she's ridiculously wealthy. She has tons of adoring fans. She said some shit about trans people that was kind of out of pocket. And then she made a book where the killer in the book, she made a murder mystery book, and the killer in the book was a trans person or a trans woman who dressed up, who only did it to take advantage of women in bathrooms or something to that effect. Like, it was really kind of suspect. You know what I mean? So she's done, okay, that's worthy of criticism, especially if you're a trans person. What's her face? ContraPoints, YouTuber. She has a really good piece talking about J.K. Rowling's whole trans issue. Kind of goes into more detail. I'm butchering it, but that's not getting canceled, okay? Getting backlash for some pretty hot takes is not getting canceled. I don't know what the fuck Woodrow Wilson did. Alice has 1/3 of it. Well, even if they deserve to be canceled, they're not. That's the thing. I'm talking to these people. Like, even if you don't like these people, they're not canceled. Okay, who canceled her? Trans Twitter? Oh yeah, that has far reach. You know what I mean? Like, who's canceling this person? I don't know. ContraPoints is by far the biggest trans YouTuber. She has 1 million subs. We live in a country of 320 million. That's just the U.S. This person is a world-renowned superstar. So let's just say 1 million people don't like her. Let's say 5 million. There's 7 billion people in the world, and just like about everybody's read fucking Harry Potter. So this person's an international superstar. She's not canceled in any way. One of the richest people in the world. One of the richest women in the world. Apparently not top 10, though, which I thought she was. I don't know. And then you got Drew Brees. I don't know what the fuck Woodrow Wilson did. I never even heard of that, so I don't know. Drew Brees said some dumb shit about kneeling. He didn't get it, I guess. Even though he plays with a lot of African-American athletes, he said something stupid about it. He got some pushback. He got criticized. That was it. Nobody even talks about that anymore. Most people don't even remember it. That was it. He played for. He's the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Again, millions of adoring fans. Anywhere he goes, gets mobbed. People love him. And he's a gajillionaire. Is set for life. How did he get canceled? He's not canceled in any way. Who canceled him? These people are not canceled. See what I'm saying? Like, canceled would be, you know, if you lose your career, you lose your job. Now, you know, I've seen cases where maybe some Joe Schmo gets, you know, pushed out of some opportunity. But very, very rarely when they talk about, oh, cancel culture, it's usually shit like this that is just absolutely ridiculous. They act like it's some big epidemic that is, you know, just destroying our nation. Like, no, it's people getting criticism and like for the flavor of the week, and then that's it. And then it goes away. L'Oreal. Why are you trying to logic trigger you? I don't know. That owns over 50% stake in Walmart. Yeah, the Walton lady's one of the most. Kathy Griffin got canceled. Yeah, exactly. Kathy Griffin got way more canceled, and that was from the right. Yeah, the right can't. And see, the right is more like in unison. Like, they know how to like push back against people because they go for the jugular. And it works both ways. But, you know, even Kathy Griffin's fine now. Yeah, she had like a couple shit years. But, you know, she's touring. She's probably doing movies. You know, she wasn't ever like some superstar famous person. She lost her gig on CNN. But that was probably going to happen eventually anyway because Anderson and Andy are like really big, you know, really good friends.
Not the famous or the unknown, not the living or the dead. So many have been burned at the social media stake.
Yes.
One has to wonder if the mob is going to run out of victims. But this fire will not burn itself out. We have to stop it.
I guess, yeah. That's what I'm fucking worried about. It's just ridiculous shit, man. They get so worked up about the most ridiculous shit. Anyway, so yeah. That's PragerU for today.
There are many in the West, including many who should know better, who
find
it difficult, unpopular.
The right tried to cancel Colin Kaepernick. The right did cancel Colin Kaepernick to an extent. If there hadn't been such a big fuss around him, he would have gotten another job. He did get some money out of it though, and he's still, you know, he's still getting paid. He had the big Nike thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, whenever someone gets canceled, it's usually only by one side. The only people that usually get universally canceled are people like Harvey Weinstein, who obviously deserve it. Like, that's not getting canceled. That's just being called on your shit. So, yeah, you know, like, and if you're a politician, I don't really consider that being canceled, because obviously, like, that's the whole part of your job is being, you know, well liked by the public. Like, you have to kind of deal with that. But all these like celebrities that they always bring up, like Morgan Wallen or whatever the fucking country singer's name is, he didn't get canceled. In fact, his record sales are through the roof right now, even though he has been caught
in my video.
He's been caught with a hard R.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly
bad. By the way, I don't know if you guys are on TikTok and you've seen the Only Jayus drama. I guess she has an address. She got caught using the hard R, hard ER, and apparently she hasn't said nothing about it though. We'll see what happens. Who the fuck is Donna? LOL, Donna. Oh, you guys are having like, you guys are in your own little world in the chat here. Are they victims? They run out, never satisfied, Nikki. Yeah, exactly. Like, to them, criticizing somebody is cancel culture. It's just like, it's like too many comedians said the same joke. Like, every comedian has like that, oh, everybody's so sensitive now. And too many people ran with it and became like this right-wing narrative that, oh, cancel culture's taken over the world. Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz constantly talk about cancel culture. And yeah, if anybody needs to get canceled, it's those fucking two. Especially Jim Jordan. Even though Matt Gaetz is a fuck, at least he never let his wrestling students get molested. Say that for him. And as far as I know, it's possible it happened. Wait, who's conjuring up Satan? Not without me, motherfucker. If we're conjuring up Satan, I need to know about it. Okay? Damn it. Also, join the Discord. We like to conjure up Satan down there. Okay. Well, let's... One other thing I wanted to... I think this was the last one. But okay, so remember we talked about this guy's channel the other day, or yesterday, and I thought he was a QAnon guy, but apparently he's not. He's very much into a lot of the same stuff, but apparently he doesn't like Q. He thinks it's like a psyop or something. So he talks shit about it a lot here, and I thought it was pretty funny. So that says, "Get off my lawn before I set you on fire," and he's talking about QAnon. But yeah, okay. So anyway, make sure you guys do all the like stuff, whatever. I'm tired of saying it. Check out what's
wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
I love how Donna commented on... Oh. Yeah. Well, you know, you gotta throw an MFer in there every once in a while. Just for good measure.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show.
Goes,
I have to do a video on this to show you and prove a point. For those who are still skeptical about some of these things that I talk about, one of the things I constantly have said over the last couple of years in this channel, from the second it was put in front of our faces, is that the Q movement was a movement to hijack what a lot of us were talking about and bringing truth to, and to make...
Again, this is the Illuminati, children eating babies. Will Ferrell is a demon guy, and he's talking about how Q is making him look bad. Just for context, if you didn't see the stream yesterday.
Us look like fools, right? Hijacking the whole stuff to do with the children out there, the underground, what was really happening with the occult. I was exposing it from day one with McMartin and other things.
Am I watching the trial tomorrow? Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to watch it live. Probably do like another roundup like we did today. Because I got some... I've been doing a lot of driving lessons for like having a few students, teaching them how to drive a truck. So I might do that tomorrow. So probably won't watch it live, but I'll probably do a roundup, definitely.
Things on my channel. And this movement just suddenly popped up, and everybody suddenly thought they had it. Oh, they knew all about it. They got it because this guy inside the White House was an informant. Like the biggest joke you ever could possibly hear. And all I've said from the get-go was that this thing was a giant movement to censor everyone and lump us in with it. Even if we openly, constantly bash it and mock it, which I do, because I think the lowest level of thought and common sense people on the internet might be the people in the Q movement, because they don't even get what they're talking about. They're like, yeah, you know, I'm good. Yeah, we're going to drain the swamp. And Trump's, I mean, they might be dumber than the people on the left.
Again, this is the Illuminati guy. Like, hot calling the kettle black, man, I tell you.
And anybody who has criticized my channel and watched my channel knows for a fact that I've said that a million trillion times. I don't believe in a left or right. Well, I did a video earlier today about the Super Bowl. Not one word is mentioned about Q. Not one word is mentioned about some of the stuff I'm about to read you. But I clicked on a link, a link to my own video because somebody commented. I wanted to read the comment. So it brings you naturally to your page, the video you put up, the page, right? And right underneath it, I have one of these Wikipedia things, right? And what used to happen would be like, if you tag a video and you put in Illuminati, if you put in Freemasonry in the tags, right? The same thing happens now with the C19er. Wiki will put up this thing deflecting off of what you're saying, pretty much saying, okay, you're crazy, giving you the real answer of what it is before, right below the video, before you can even get to my description or anyone's description or into the comment section, right? So I do this video. All I'm talking about is one. Watch the video. If you haven't seen the video, it's called the Super World Order. It's about the one world order. It's about some of the stuff they played yesterday about a one world order. And I show the repetition with one, talk about how, so many songs are titled one, like you think U2 got together with some of these other bands and they're all like, let's call a song One. Ooh, I love One. It's my favorite number.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit here. What the fuck
while he was in office. Nothing in my video has anything to do with Donald Trump, with Q, with these idiots who fell into this movement, who suddenly, these are the people that people like you.
What is going on here? What? And I don't understand this. How did these guys get? This guy has 3 channels and he has like 700,000 subscribers, and I don't even know what he's talking about.
And me have been yelling at for years, right? Trying to wake up. There's so many people I know I've tried to wake up that I haven't woke up. And I know a lot of you guys comment and you message me and you say, you woke me up, and I appreciate that. And I don't take credit for that. But there's a lot of people I've tried to wake up that I was close to, and no, didn't work at all. And then I found out, years later, these people.
Well, I thought this was going to be a little more interesting than it was. This guy's like having a fucking soliloquy here. Soliloquy. That's how you say that word. Okay, well, yeah. Anyway, I think that's about all the material for the night. Bam, yeah. So what do we think? Questions, comments, concerns? I love evangelicals. I was a Catholic for over 20 years. Went to church 3 to 4 times a day. Yeah. I love the. I went to a Christian school for like 12 years, and I remember the teacher telling us we were gonna go to hell if we didn't go to church on the daily. So I thought that was kind of weird, especially being like a young ass kid, being told like you'll go to hell if you do not praise Jesus. Dude. Energy attack. Guy sounds like a GTA character. Yeah, I don't know. Usually his videos are a little more interesting, but he was just like ranting and raving in that one. But I knew it was about him bitching about Q, which I thought would be interesting, but I don't know. Turns out it wasn't really. But yeah, day 3 of the impeachment tomorrow. I don't know exactly. I guess I don't know if there's just more arguments. When am I hosting my next group talk debate? I'm trying to, like, everybody's been like super busy. I'm supposed to have Travis on at some point to talk to him, and then I was supposed to go on what's his face, John and Okay High is what they call it, but John and Tommy's channel. I was supposed to go on to talk with them, but I'm so glad I never grew up with that. Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting. I was supposed to go on their channel and talk with them, but we haven't really set in stone like a time or anything. But yeah, then I was talking to Tory and Java Kai about having another talk with them about, you know, just the Biden administration and what we kind of hope and expect out of the next, you know, 4 years. But yeah, just everybody's been like super busy, you know what I mean? And so yeah. Are they live right now? Is who live right now? I don't know if they're live right now or not. No, I don't think so. They don't stream much. They're trying to I love Tori and Jay. Yeah, no, they're awesome. I've been Jay was like one of the first, like when I first started streaming, he would come a lot. He's like he's starting to teach classes and stuff. He's going to become a teacher. So he's been busy with that. And then we were having a lot of like talks and discussions, but like like anytime I would have one of those and then like the next couple streams, like it wouldn't, like not too many, like it seemed to like fuck up my traffic like anytime I had people on. So I was trying to like not do it so much for a while, but I'm going to start eventually. I want to do one a week. Like that's my goal, to eventually do like one like panel discussion a week, and then, you know, do 3 or 4 other just normal streams, something like that. But yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely go live tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. Do the same kind of thing, impeachment roundup, maybe a few other things. Hopefully, maybe Sarah Palin will do another interview and we can laugh at that. That would be awesome. No, well, it seemed to be messing with my like engagement, but I don't know if it would now though. Like it's tough to say. But I want to do one a week just for like a switch up. You know what I mean? Like I want to do like one interview / like panel a week. I think it's good to, you know, switch it up so it's not always just like the same thing. You know, and it's nice to have like somebody to bounce shit off of once in a while. Instead of just being a one-man band. Well, I got y'all, so never really a one-man band. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate y'all coming to the stream. Thank you so much. On the way out, if you could let them have you in there. Yeah, no, I'm supposed to go on their channel at some point. We just haven't set up a time. Everybody, yeah, just everybody's kind of been busy. I've been doing shit. They've been doing shit. Like sometimes, you know, everybody's kind of on the same page and then they're not. But yeah, anyway, so if you guys like the stream on the way out, really, really appreciate it. Follow me on every single thing. Just follow me on everything. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch. Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, yeah, appreciate you guys for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow.